Hi, welcome. This is Creating Conscious Relationships. I am Soleil Costa. Today we're going to talk about why are we so hard on ourselves. Did you notice that pretty much no one talks to us the way we talk to ourselves? We can be very harsh with ourselves. And if we are trying to learn how to love ourselves, we know that the first thing to do is to be more kind and compassionate with ourselves. But there is that voice in our head. It calls the inner critic. And the inner critic is always criticizing, always wanting more, always telling us what to do, how to make an effort to do things better. It's always this voice in our head trying to push us into doing more, do better, or different, right? So many people say, well, you have to do some affirmations every day. Remember, reminding yourself to love yourself, to be kind and compassionate and all that. But let me tell you, no matter how many affirmations you do, for how long you practice that, probably the inner critic is not going to go away so easily. Do you know why? Because the inner critic is a part of you that was created to protect another part of you that probably was hurt in the past when you were very young. Let's imagine for a moment that you are a little child and your parents, your mother or your father say things to you like, "You're always late, you never listened, look what you have done." And you as a little person, a little child, you feel like, oh, mom or dad, they don't like me. Something is wrong with me, right? And that sensitive part of you starts feeling not comfortable and very sad and very lonely. And if mom, after saying that to you, didn't come back and hug you and say, sweetie, I love you. I just don't like the way you did this, but I still love you. If you didn't get that reassurance that you're still loved, you may feel unloved, and that issue and that feeling that you have is unresolved. And that is unresolved is what we understand as trauma. And when trauma happens, in the psyche splits and in fragments. We talk about this in another video. And this is how parts emerge in our personality. So we have the sensitive part of you that is feeling very lonely at the moment. And then is this new part coming, is like coming to the rescue because the inner critic or the judge plays the role as a protector of that sensitive part of you to prevent that sensitive part of you will not be hurt again. So you understand? Can you follow this? The inner critic is always anticipating the possibility of the sensitive one being hurt again. So that's why we have this voice in our head all the time. You should do better. You have to work harder, right? And if you pay close attention, you may discover that the tone of that voice or the way that voice talks to you is very familiar because it may sound like the voice of your mother, of your father, or someone who used to criticize you when you were little. So, what to do with that? Well, the inner critic is playing the role of as a protector to protect the sensitive one. So the best way to work with this is not trying to eliminate the inner critic, because that is almost impossible. We may cover the inner critic with something for the moment, but it's going to be there anyway. So the best way to deal with this is with parts work. Is identifying and recognizing all those parts, including the inner critic, which could be very dominant sometimes, and give them space and pay attention to that. So instead of having those in opposition, like the the inner critic and the sensitive one that are in opposition at the moment, find a way to integrate them because they can work in cooperation instead of polarization, right? If you would like to know more about how to work with parts, send me an email to contact@soleicosta.com, like in the screen there, and I will send you information. I have this step-by-step guide how to work with parts. You can do that on your own. And if you need more help and support, you can always contact me, and I have some offerings there. We can do coaching sessions. They're package that you can afford. It's not too much. And I can help you to navigate through this process, which is a very beautiful journey. That's a very healing journey that really makes sense. Okay? Well, thanks for watching. Share this with your friends. Remember to subscribe, and see you next time. Namaste.